Should I say current comments on?
Hello.
Wow, that was quick.
Yeah, I know.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Simply Spooky. In this episode tonight, we've got Mr. Steve Daley, and he's from Paranormal Ayrshire. I'm sure you guys know him anyway. A lot of you will do. And if you don't, just settle in and you'll get to know him. There you go. Self-advertising. Perfect. So what we're going to do, first of all, I know she thinks she got away with it, but it was her birthday yesterday. And as she always does it to me and puts me on the spot, I think we should sing Happy Birthday to Viv. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Viv. Eric, stop miming and get your voice up. Happy birthday to you. 67 today.
Happy birthday.
I'm not 67. You arsehole. Sorry.
you speak Japanese. Arsehole. Hi, Jamie. I hope you're doing well. Hello, Bill. Hello, Leslie. My eyes. I'm getting old. I'm either getting old or I've been touching myself too much because I can't see anything. Right. Hello, Willow. I hope you're doing well. That is low. Hello, guys. I'm watching on my big TV. Stephen is away. I'm enjoying the TV. I bet not as much as Stephen is. Being away from you, though, Lo. I bet he's really enjoying it. That boy needs a break.
He needs a medal.
He doesn't make us. Happy birthday, Viv, says Wild Bill. So, right. So, and young Sarah. Hello, Sarah. Hope you're doing well in Wales. So, right. Excellent. So, welcome to the show. So, Steve, thanks very much for coming along and agreeing to do this evening. Really appreciate it. It's great to get you on live and have a chat with you and just get your broadcast to all of the people out there. 3 of them that watch us regularly. Two of them, one of them's my mum and the other's my wife. But anyway, that doesn't matter. So, Steve, would you do us a favour? Would you give us a short introduction as to who you? Well, we know who you are, but what you do and your group, please.
Basically, I run the page Paranormal Ayrshire. Pretty much go solo. There's kind of 1 or 2 people kind of help in the background, tag along whenever I go out. Predominantly right now it's mostly my fiance and my 2 stepsons that we go out and do stuff. I kind of try and keep an open-minded page where everybody's allowed an opinion, and I just kind of go. Yeah. It's basically it's ITC and stuff. I kind of go for. I'm probably as sensitive as a brick, so I go for lots of technology and devices that I use. Like I say, I take a skeptical approach. I don't just automatically think everything's paranormal. I try and look for a logical explanation to what it could be, and I try and look for links with the location, as in like names, years, things I can research and kind of tie in. So I don't just automatically jump on paranormal and just go, it's a ghost. But,
no, I think that's a good thing, to be honest with you. I'm like you. I'm sort of skeptical a lot of the time, and I don't kind of adhere to the idea that everything's paranormal. That you. In fact, damn sight, most of it isn't. But there are the occasional little blips and things that kind of get me thinking. And to me, I think that proves to me, well, it does, without a shadow of a doubt, that there is a paranormal. Would you, if you were pushed into a corner, would you say that you definitely believe that there is a paranormal, or you're not sure yet?
I believe in the 12 years I've been doing this, I've experienced stuff that I can't explain.
Yeah.
Now, if you're not open-minded, if you don't have an open mind, I wouldn't be able to change your mind.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I like it when you get a group. See, when you get a group, there's like 1 or 2 skeptics with a K. I quite like that when you get that. So you get kind of people that will challenge and question something that comes up.
Yeah. And
I quite like that because then you can actually engage in an adult conversation and have that kind of, and you can say, well, what about this? Like one of the times I run an event at Dundonald Castle, which is a castle local to Ayrshire. Now, it has got links with the Battles of Independence. when Robert the Bruce won his first battle against the English, it was at Loudon Hill, which was close to where I live. He gave the Stuart family Dundonald Castle as a gift for helping him. And we actually asked one of the questions, it's what clan are you affiliated to? And we got back was Robert the Bruce. Clear as day for the spirit box. Now, to me, I'm looking at the location going, there's links to Robert the Bruce here. He was involved with this castle. The family here were linked to his clan. So to me, that then was evidence that it could be that it kind of, it was intelligence and intelligent response to a question that was asked. I think everybody that was there, even a couple of skeptical people, couldn't believe it and goes, they couldn't believe it. It was quite surreal. I did try and get the video to give you, but I've been unable to find it because it was about 7 years ago. But it was pretty good, and it was significant to the area and the location we were in. So that's what I look for.
I think that's right. I think that's absolutely right. So I'm going. Sorry, go on.
Have you ever tried the Singapore theory, where you must have had people from England come up and see you at some point and do a thing where the English have come to battle the Scots, can you come out and help us, sort of thing? Have you ever tried anything like that to see if it provokes anything?
At Chillingham Castle, it was more of the other way about. Now, Chillingham Castle there's Suzanne, that's my kind of partner in crime.
Hello, Suzanne.
So I went to Chillingham Castle once. The guy gave me a kind of guided tour, and we did a wee kind of mini investigation. And what he said to me was, I take it everybody, I'm going to assume everybody knows who Chillingham Castle is and the links to Scotland and England. Now, the guy that was in that castle was basically Edward Longshanks' right-hand man. His job was to torture Scottish people. Me getting in with a broad Scottish accent, straight away, target. It's one of only 2 locations I've actually been terrified or had a fright and been properly
Really?
Aye. It was a really good kind of, but that was, we did the kind of, it's like, we've got a Scotsman, what are you going to do to him? And it was like really weird because the castle was so warm and I was so cold. There was a lot of things happening and it was quite strange. I couldn't explain it.
Hey,
Even when I tried to find logical solutions, I could not find any logical reason.
Suzanne, if he pisses you off, send him to Chillingham Castle, chain him up and just leave him there. I'm giving your missus bad ideas.
She's over there listening. You getting ideas?
Is she listening? Is she?
Chillingham Castle. Just leave him there.
The missus is just laughing, so.
I don't know
whether it was a kind of serious laugh or a nervous laugh.
That's typical of him giving everybody nasty ideas to carry out on people.
She'll just keep it locked in the memory bank. So just be nice to us, Steve. Otherwise, you're going to get it.
You can kind of, you can create scenarios to try and kind of trigger. Obviously, when you look at historic places, say like predominantly I've investigated Scotland, right? I've done very little outside of Scotland, but you could do like battlefields where you could do your reenactments and stuff, and it could trigger. I don't know. Nobody's an expert. It's off.
No, exactly. It is a case of suck it and see, isn't it? You just try a chance your arm. Anything. It's like as always says, well, if a particular thing doesn't work, it doesn't mean that you throw it to one side, discard it. It might work somewhere else in a different environment.
I like the social aspect. You know, I've met a lot of people that I wouldn't probably never engage with at paranormal events that I actually keep in touch with and stuff like that. So it's kind of, I like that kind of side of it.
Yeah, it is good. And on the other side, though, I've met quite a lot of people I wish I hadn't.
Dan, you're terrible.
But no, most people out there in the field are decent enough people. They're genuine, decent people. But yeah, that's it really.
You do get some trying people though in every field though, wherever you go.
It's life, isn't it? Life in general has idiots in it, and you just have to navigate it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Can I ask you? Have you investigated that doggy suicide bridge?
No. I'm a dog lover, so I can. It's
But no, you could just go there and see if you could get a sense or a feel of anything. Because I had a conversation with our good friend Lois about that place, and one of my managers grew up and was born right next to the doggy suicide bridge.
in
So I've
Dumbarton.
been. Yeah, he told me all the stories about that, and even Lo told me about the man that tried to throw the baby over the bridge or something. And it wasn't even dog related; it was just the feelings that you get when you're there. Has that not ever tempted you to
No,
see
never
what
been.
that's about?
I've never been. I can't. I wouldn't like to comment because I've never been to experience it.
No.
I might at some point, but no, I kind of Edinburgh's my kind of go-to place.
Oh, is it? Ah,
So
Yeah, I love Edinburgh.
never been.
Place. Absolutely
unfortunately,
stunning.
one of my favourite locations was Gilmerton Cove. Now that was linked to Covenanters, Hellfire, an illegal drinking den. It's honestly
Yeah.
it's in this tiny wee village outside Edinburgh, and it's below the street. But traffic lights, there's a cross, and then you get in this wee cottage. You go under the ground, and it's just honestly it's this it's like a small cave system that's like caverns, and that's one of my favourite places. That's the kind of stuff I like.
Yeah. Lowe's just said the man threw his 2-year-old over the bridge and killed his child. He's now locked up for life in Carstairs.
Oh, okay. Okay. Was that quite recent, was it, Lo?
He sounds like a nice guy, said no one else.
Didn't he just? Poor child. Bless it.
Yeah. But we're quite jealous of you, Steve, because up in Scotland, you're quite sport for choice when it comes to the odd castle. They're everywhere, aren't they?
Well, there is I don't know the exact amount, but there is a large number of castles, old inns and taverns, but graveyards. I mean, there's one of the most historic. What I would say is one of the most historic countries in the world for. I don't even have to say Scotland. It's like
no, there's a lot of activity there, isn't there?
I think it's got the most aggressive ghost in the world, the Mackenzie ghost. You know, the mausoleum that was punching people, and I think for me that's the only right across the world. And all the years I've been doing it, I'm doing it a long time, but that Mackenzie ghost seems to be the most aggressive one ever recorded in history because it went on for so long.
George Bloody Mackenzie.
Yeah. I wanted to go in there with Dan, say like, Dan, go in there and see if you get punched.
Right.
The whole story about it with the Covenanters prisons it's interesting because I mean there is.
Isn't there a lot of Covenanters buried in there?
What they used to do is they used to station. They used to capture Covenanters soldiers and put them in, and they used to make them lie face down in the dirt. And if they moved, they would shoot them. It was a top of a kind of flooding wall. Now, there is like history to kind of back up that George Mackenzie was a real person and this is where he's buried, but I'm not quite convinced that he is the entity that haunts the graveyard, Greyfriars. Yeah. I kind of think it could be something a bit darker, but
really?
The amount of times I've tried to get evidence in Greyfriars, I've never actually managed to successfully get any evidence.
Didn't they close the Black Museum purely because people were having to be carried out? Mausoleum or something.
The Black Museum it's never been open to the public, to my knowledge. It's a Covenanters prison. The Covenanters prison is a weird feeling when you go in there. You kind of the amount of history that's on that ground and the amount of death that was on that kind of area. Even just the graveyard as a whole. The amount of people that's buried there because it's bodies on top of bodies and
I was going to say there was a thing about they were saying that there were so many people buried in there at one point that rather than burying them deep, they would just bury them when they could, throwing dirt over them. So if you walk through the graveyard, it was not unheard of to kick a bit of dirt and all of a sudden a hand would come out. You know, but I think they wrote a book, didn't they, about the Mackenzie poltergeist, the ghost that haunted itself.
Yeah,
I think it was a book they read about it. Was it? Which was quite an interesting book. But yeah, but the graveyard itself is stunning.
It's supposed to be beautiful, isn't it? It's a
Beautiful.
beautiful looking.
Stunning. And historically, it's phenomenal.
It's also one of the kind of more. It's where J.K. Rowling got the inspiration for Harry Potter.
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah.
Several characters. It's great. There's several characters that's obviously named in the gravestones. I think it Tom Riddle's in. I think there's somebody Riddle. Tom Riddle is there. But there's also a medical school that looks onto the graveyard, and that's where she got the inspiration for Hogwarts. So when she saw the school and saw the castle, it gave her the inspiration to write the Harry Potter saga. So
because there are mausoleums in there that are like surgeons' mausoleums, aren't there? At one end, there's like because I think Edinburgh in particular, I think is Scotland, but Edinburgh in particular is quite well known for producing sort of like really really top surgeons. So that was happening.
Well, that was a medical school that looks onto the graveyards. So
it is stunning. It's a beautiful cemetery though. It
really that is. Was Birkenhead actually. That was where they did a lot of. They used the vaults. They used the underground. They used the streets, the closes and stuff like that to the body snatch. They sell to the medical college to make money. So that was kind of, they were prominent in that area as well.
Didn't they get executed opposite the pub, which is now called the
Birkenhead? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. One.
That's not a pub. That's a lap dance.
Oh, is it? We should go in there. We could go and investigate it.
I think one got executed and one got
the other one grassed the other one in.
Yeah. So he ended up getting what they call it when they send them abroad to Australia or something. Can't think what they call it now.
Extradited.
Yes.
Extradited.
Yes. He got sent on a prison ship there, but because they used the skin of either Birkenhead, didn't they? They used it to cover books on the history of Birkenhead, which was it's quite intriguing. But obviously, them collector's items, then weren't they?
I can't believe that pub's now a lap dancing club.
It's part of Edinburgh's pubic triangle. It's called.
Is it really?
Triangle. I want to say that Glasgow really interests me for a place for
Hi, Robert.
that I would like to go and visit and go and investigate as a paranormal investigator, purely because of the way Glasgow changed over the years, and the tenements were taken down and the houses were built and they were just pushed to one side, and all the discontent and all the rest of it. But not only that, my most favourite comedian in the world comes from Glasgow, and if you watch the programmes on the TV, he will take you to the pubs that he used to go in and sell some of his jokes. You know, the spit and sawdust pubs that are still there to this day. And they're absolutely fascinating. So for me, you can keep Edinburgh and all the rest of it. For me, I'd head straight to Glasgow because I'd want to be in the thick of it. You know, the dockyards and the shipbuilding. And I know it's not the same anymore. It's been remodeled, but it still holds a lot of history.
It's still a nice enough city. The city centre's not exactly got a lot of locations to investigate. It's more like an outskirts, Glasgow.
Yeah.
You've got the names slipped my mind there. You've got Pierce Institute, which is quite good. It'll come to me. I can't remember the name of the place. There's a place just outside. I want to Google this actually. It's
that's all right. Don't worry. But it's an interesting place because you know that when you hear like what I call the proper Glaswegians when they talk, a lot of people say, "Oh, I can't understand them." I can understand every word. So it must have been Glaswegian in a former life or something, you know.
Provenhall.
Provenhall.
Provenhall was a very interesting place. It's just the other side of Glasgow to me. That was pretty. It's like a very small. They kind of run it as like a community hub. I don't know if they allow paranormal nights as much anymore, but they do let the occasional team in, and it is a pretty good location. It is interesting.
Yeah,
it's also nice. I can send you some pictures of it. It's decent.
Lois is saying the Glasgow necropolis is supposed to be good as well.
Yeah.
It's a bit dodgy because you get loads of junkies.
That's all right. It's just like here.
I've not
Don't worry
been to
about
Glasgow
it.
for years. I think last time I went there, it was just coming out. Well, it was voted the city of culture. I think it was voted at one point, wasn't it?
Yes.
But there was still tenements around there and stuff that were still not great at the time. But yeah, they've completely changed it now, haven't they? It's a real. I think it was as Rab says, it was like a proper yuppie place now.
Yeah. Wendy says her husband is Glaswegian as well.
Well, there you go.
It's like everywhere. It's got its good bits and its bad bits.
Yeah.
No, I like Ayrshire myself because that's obviously quite based
That's because you're posh.
no, Ayrshire's definitely. See, when you look, you've got a kind of Ayrshire coast, but you kind of start around about Culzean Castle, and you can head all the way around to Porton Cross Castle, kind of.
Yeah.
Over. I know that's starting to get into kind of West Kilbride area, but there's a lot of history, and you've obviously got Burns Cottage, you've got Alloway. There's a lot of areas around about here there's a lot of history because you've got Dundonald Castle, you've got Loudon Hill, you've got Loudon Kirk. It's good run about here. You got a lot of free places that you can just walk into and have a wee nosy and explore, and as long as you're respectful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Full of history. Because I know Eric is itching to get to Scotland. Have you got any questions for Steve about Scotland?
Well, not really, but I'm gonna need some. Excuse me. I'm gonna need someone to give me a tour of the whole thing. So maybe spending the rest of my life investigating Scotland and England and.
Jacqueline.
If you come to Ayrshire, I'm more than happy to show you some locations. So
castles for sale. That's what he wants.
Yep.
I think I sent you one of them, did I not?
Place called,
I've got a bridge in London I can tell you.
there's this castle called Jewsmere in Scotland, and it's right in my price range and something that I really want to do. So.
Low wants to know.
If you come to Ayrshire, I'm more than happy to show you some locations.
Low wants to know, Stephen, if you will take your tour for spirits in pubs. Laugh out loud.
In other words, she wants to go out on a piss up.
You'll take your tour for spirits. Yeah.
Fucking like Louise is bad enough sober, never mind drunk.
Hey, Lois, we know a secret about you. You're just as bad as Jay.
That's probably when you're going to get stabbed or something.
Oh dear! No, we have to. I think people should. They're missing out on a lot if they don't go to Scotland and investigate. I think Scotland has a lot to offer. I know you've got all the touristy thing that happens there, but you've also got the darker side of Scotland that not many people really look into, do they?
Lots
they
of
don't
paranormal
really
activity in history. The millenniums of history over there, isn't there? So
again, all you've got to do to look no further than Edinburgh. If you go and sit outside St Giles Cathedral, even the amount of history that's in that street. So you see, when you think about it, you actually sit there and you go, the amount of history that was on this street, the amount of people that's walked this through, the amount how Edinburgh's changed, how it was designed, and the underground streets, and then you sit there today and go, the amount of different cultures you can just sit and see walking past it. There's no hatred. Everybody's just kind of doing their own thing.
Yeah.
There's street shows, there's bagpipers, you've got the Fringe Festival. Everybody's having a good time. Which I quite like, that, because you just see so many different people interacting, and that's the kind of stuff I like.
That's what you want from a city.
Have you ever been scared when I say scared, have you ever seen something odd that you can't explain? Have you ever seen an apparition or something strange like that in all the years that you've been doing this?
I've seen one or two things, yeah. That was part of when initially I jumped into the paranormal, and I was kind of first starting out in my journey. I worked with a guy that did. He kind of trained me more old school investigating, and I brought my kind of devices into it, and we bounced off each other quite well. Now, we actually did a house case, and I remember laughing, and I remember thinking, when it was 12, kind of maybe about 10 years ago, and I'm laughing going, aye, that guy, he's watching too many films. I actually left his house in the morning going, I apologise to you profoundly because there is something in here that's not right. And I remember sitting watching footage. Now, there isn't any natural light source, and I was kind of calling out and trying to encourage. You can actually see a shadow walking around the bed. And when I moved to the other side and look, you can actually see it moving around the bed. And to this day, I still cannot explain.
Did it unnerve you?
No.
It didn't.
No, I've never really been somebody that, like I said, I think I had a proper scare, possibly 3 at the most times during my journey, paranormal journey. So Louise witnessed one. She witnessed one at. We were up at Lennox Castle. It was an old kind of psychiatric hospital, and you saw you could see figures, you could feel as if you were being watched. And we were standing in a circle. No, there was nobody behind me and something blowing my ear, so I jumped off myself.
Yeah. The fact that it's a psychiatric place as well, that would just give me the willies to start with anyway. Then to have something blow in your ear, because you don't know whether it would be mental or not, so.
Well, I've also saw it's like figures, but again, I kind of look at what a logical reason behind what it could be, but it's like a lot of kind of shadow figures at the corner of your eye, and you start kind of thinking, is it your imagination? Is it are you tired? I try and kind of take a lot of things in there. Like I said, it's mostly, it's not so much I've saw anything, it's more a kind of feelings and getting kind of wee touches, wee bumps.
Yeah.
Voice phenomena. There's that kind of stuff I've experienced more of. Than that's why I went the ITC route rather than kind of full on. But I've also got my fair share of crazy shit that we've done over the years, so it's.
I keep saying to Dan, we need to get absolutely sloshed, like have somebody sober with us to keep an eye on things, but get absolutely hammered and go looking for ghosts and see how our perception of things changes. How do we actually see anything? Does it make it easier to see, or does it make it worse and we're just wasting our time? And then do another time where we fast and absolutely eat and drink nothing the day before we go and investigate. Sugar rushes. What if we would go on or eat a load of sweets before we go, so we're on a sugar high? Does that affect what we see and feel? And I've got all these ideas, but Dan says, "Nah, can't be bothered." He says, "Can't be bothered."
I think that really, I've got a feeling that you have to be. It sounds mental, it sounds hippie, and I don't mean it to, but the reality is, I think you have to be vibrating at the right frequency. I think the weather needs to be at a certain temperature, whatever. I think everything around you in the environment needs to be just at the point where it tips you over and you can see things. It's like I learned today that, which surprised me really, and I learned it from a guy who'd done a study, that EMF will not have any effect on your perception of what's going on around you. People think it does, and you see these ghost hunters going, well, you know what, it's the EMF, you're feeling this because of the EMF. And he said, well, you might feel it because of the EMF, but the EMF the amount of EMF you'd need to feel would be way off the scale. And it doesn't exist in a normal environment.
It's like wee bursts like that you're looking for in the air. That's what I kind of.
Yeah. He said the same with not just EMF, but the same with I can't think what it was now. Oh, infrasound. The infrasound that we get in normal everyday life wouldn't have an effect upon you. It might make you feel a bit slightly wheezy, wobbly, but it wouldn't affect you to the point where you started to envision things, which surprised me because I thought it could be used to manipulate. But the guy was saying that through these experiments that they've done, this guy's a proper bona fide scientist, that he doesn't think that it has any effect upon the human body at all.
I disagree, because infrasound's been used by the military.
But that's what we've been told, isn't it?
Yes.
But we're only voicing what other people are telling us. According to this guy, not just him, but like white papers, it doesn't really have an effect on you. And the amount of infrasound that we get is nothing.
Yeah.
At the 20 hertz, he was saying, if you had 20 hertz of infrasound and you played it through a speaker, the speaker would either short itself or it would catch fire. And that's sort of way above what we would experience normally every day.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So that's what makes me think that it has to be a lot of dials at different points environmentally, including yourself, to make you be open and experience these things. But that's just my thing. It might be completely wrong. I always say I might be so far off the point.
No, I don't know. But so my idea of building a giant copper cage and putting electricity to it.
just fry someone.
See, I had a kind of theory before, and it kind of came. It was unexpected. My partner put a small Christmas tree down on our grandfather's kind of memorial bit where his ashes are. Now I've kind of saw this kind of 2 or 3 times during my paranormal journey, where obviously where the ashes are an object has got a wee bit of stored energy, and all it takes is that wee spark to. And that night, Nicola had it was like a kind of dream she had. It was as if she had met our granddad again and kind of got to. And it was. I can't tell her whether that's paranormal or not. It's a personal experience to her.
Yeah.
But it was when I heard her kind of say that, I kind of spoke to her a wee bit about how. Again, this was me going back to when I worked with the guy that kind of did a wee bit of training with me. We kind of discussed that if objects could store energy and give you that wee spark that you need to kind of see something that you and I do believe that there is obviously sort of energy in the air that can kind of cross into this kind of dimension or give you your wee kind of thing in your mind that you believe to be, or you get the perception as something paranormal. But just to me, I kind of start thinking, going, well, is there a logical reason for that? That's what I kind of.
Yeah, exactly that. And I think that's the way you need to think, isn't it, really?
Because do you feel though, Steve and Dan, that we're only sort of drawn to look for certain things? So if we look for other things, apart from this, we want to see a spirit of a man or a woman or whatever who got murdered here or what that happened there. If we look for other things like spirit animals, horses, dogs, other animals, cryptids even, because you have cryptids in Scotland. I know about them. I've been reading about them. But if you look for other things, other than, these particular ghosts that we read about, these people in history, do you think you're more likely to see that because you're looking for that?
I believe sometimes your mind can see what you want it to see. When you obviously it's scato, it's called. So your mind will believe what it wants to believe, or it will see what it wants to see. So if you go looking for something, 9 times out of 10, your mind could kind of manifest that for you. The only time the only kind of difference for that is when you're looking for your car keys in a hurry and you want them to get a magic of thin air and they're not there. So
But what about if 2 people are seeing it and one's a non-believer?
I would need to be in that situation to witness that, to kind of read the room.
Yeah,
it's not something I've every experience I've had. It's been a kind of personal, because I do tend to, when I go on an event or an investigation, I tend to kind of wander off and return and go, where the fuck is he? And I'm away somewhere else.
I think the thing is, when 2 people experience something that is similar, the thing you've got to be careful of is cross-contamination, because automatically, I've watched people. Did you see this? I saw that. There was a little boy. Was it a little boy? Yeah, it was. Before you know, they're very similar. So they've already contaminated each other's. And I think that they are very, each experience is a very personal thing. So even though you think you might be experiencing the same thing as the other, but you definitely don't know whether you are or not, because it's personal to you. So your perception of what's going on might be different to theirs, but they might, people contaminate each other so easily. I think.
Well, look at it this way, right? I could turn around and give you, each and every one of us 5 words, and we could all make a story with those 5 words.
Yeah.
So see, when you look at the Ovilus boxes and stuff that come up with, I mean, I could give anybody, I could give anyone of any age 5 words and they could make a story.
Yeah.
About what could be, could see, oh, this is paranormal because this guy Jeff here ate an apple at this tree, and you could get those words and then kind of anybody could make a story based on.
Yeah.
To me, I mean, to me, I got to a point now where I find the paranormal quite boring, to be honest. Now, everybody seems to be kind of. There's nothing worse when you go to an event is if there's somebody there, can you make a noise? Like, nah, I don't. I've started. I like more the kind of extreme ghost hunting rather than that's the whole kind of. I'm not going to ask somebody. I'm going to demand something negative, and over the years, that's kind of came back and bit me in the ass because there is obviously kind of repercussions.
I know exactly what you mean about those sort of generic questions. We had it, didn't we, Viv, last year or I can't remember, it was last year before, and that was it. I was going to chuck the whole thing in because I got to the point where I thought, you know what, I can't be dealing with this bollocks. They've been doing it for years, these people, and they're coming up with the same shit. They're not changing it up. They're not doing anything else, and they're coming. They're basically doing is replicating what they see on TV, which isn't their fault to start with. But when you've been doing it for a few years, you should be able to develop yourself beyond that. But it was the same crap, and I said to you, "What is the point of this?"
Mm.
Well, I went to an event. It was Bannockburn House. Now, it was a very good location. The medium guy there, it was quite ironic, right? His name was Ricky Martin, but he looked like Elvis. I'm like, at this point, I'm sitting there, I'm pissed myself already. I'm like, I'm not taking that serious. But he did the whole kind of the old Derek Acora thing. He's like, I have a John, I have a Dave, I have that. And I'm sitting there going, holy fuck, this guy's going through the baby book of names and just going out. And I'm sitting there going, oh, fucking hell. They actually pulled me to the side and says, can you do me a favour? Can you take this serious or like fuck off? Yeah. So I had to sit in silence the rest of the night. But it was one of those moments I'm sitting there going, this guy is. I think the last time he was a medium was probably in a t-shirt when he was a teenager. But it's. So you get, I'm quite, if my face doesn't stay at my mouth well, so I'm quite bad for that. So
I think it's a good thing though, isn't it? Really, because you can't lie to yourself, and at the end of the day, you think, why the f am I stuck out here at 3 a.m. with these idiots?
I don't disrespect. Well, that's my problem. If I've got to say something, I'll say it.
Yeah, and it needs to be said, doesn't it? And it was just like I can't deal with it anymore. And Viv dragged me back, wouldn't you, Viv?
Well, we've got too much stuff to do, Dan. So.
That's true. We have. That's true.
What gets me, and I wonder if it gets your goat as well, Steve, is when you go on events and you have 2 or more mediums or self-proclaimed mediums that start having a medium off. Have you ever witnessed this? Like they have to, one's getting something, then the other one's got to better the other one, and then they start, oh, I know I'm getting this, and I'm getting it's just ridiculous.
That's usually the point I walk away.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm either saying something or I'm laughing, so
I sit back and watch and laugh at them.
I kid you not, I turned up an investigation once, there was 31 people there, fucking 29 of them were mediums. Mm-hmm. And it was like, every bastard's a medium. It was the case, put your hands up if you're not a medium, it was. And it was, in the end, it was like, I can't be dealing with this crap anymore.
Not much.
Yeah, me either.
No, I'm not big on him.
Never heard
what do you think of Chip Coffey? You never heard of him? You're lucky.
It reminds me of what do you call it, that Chip Coffey? Like the little people out of the Wizard of Oz. It reminds me of one of
the
them.
Munchkins.
Reminds me of Munchkin.
No, it's Willy Wonka. The Munchkins.
No, that's the big boy. That's the big boy, Willy Wonka.
Going back on the medium thing, I watched a live one time where like half the people in there were like mediums. So like seriously.
Yeah, I know. If there was that many people that could contact the dead and give you proper messages back, you wouldn't need any information. You wouldn't need any proof, would you?
No.
See, that's where, I mean, I remember going to an event once. It was the Scottish National Mining Museum. And the guest medium was Derek Acora. Now, I'm sitting there straight away going, I spent more time. To be fair, he was a really nice guy. I spent more time talking to him about football than I did anything else. So it was.
Yeah.
But I think if you get a theatrical medium, I think straight away you're like, oh no, it's like I'm in trouble. So
there's only one good medium, and you would really like him, Steve, and you'd rate him, and his name is Tony Stackwell.
Oh yeah, not Tony Stockwell.
Tony Stackwell.
Tubby Stackwell.
To be fair, that there is only one medium I will rate very, very highly, and that's Gary Fields from Liverpool.
I know Gary Fields. Yeah. He's a lovely guy.
I know of him. I've never done anything work with him at all, but I know of him. Yeah.
Gary Fields is one of. He's one medium that I will rate very, very highly. He is a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
I managed to take him to the castle that was local to my house. We managed to get him kind of extra access to areas, and we did a wee kind of mini and he turned around and said, "This place for energy is insane."
Yeah.
And I think the reason for that is because I've investigated it, and there's one other team investigated it. There's not many people get access to it.
Yeah.
And he believes that the energy in the Dean Castle in Kilmarnock was very, very good because it was untapped. But I mean, Gary Fields is one of the mediums that I will endorse. He's one of the very few that I will endorse because he is good.
Yeah. Well, Tony Stackwell is sitting right next to you, Dan. It's Dan. He does a comedian version of a medium called Takes on This Persona, and it's so funny. It's so funny.
I've never seen that, so you need to send me a video.
If I become an investigation, they recognise it's me, they're going to beat shit out of me. All the mediums be kicking crap out of me.
It's the most campest medium you've ever seen. Honestly. Oh, but it is funny.
Who was it who used to call them comedians?
Comedians.
Somebody used to call them comedian. Oh, they come, the comedians. Because they were a joke.
I'm about to be bad, but it could be worse. You could be a skeptic that sits like this.
That is true.
Oh, yeah.
That is true.
Sorry. Let me rephrase that. Septic.
As a skeptic.
Skeptic.
Skeptic with a C.
Is that right at the beginning?
That's me.
Could that be praying for forgiveness?
Yeah, it could, I guess, couldn't it? Yeah.
Is it praying for a shot of the sex, though?
Oh, dear. So, guys, can I just say to everybody in the chat, there is a petition going around. If you see the petition, sign it. That's what I've been told. There's a petition, and if you like it, it's going around, or speak to Steve, and just sign it.
I'm going to do. Have you ever seen that film Split? James McAvoy.
Yes.
I'm going to adopt that philosophy. It wasn't me; it was Patricia.
Thank you, Bev.
Beverly. But the problem is, Beverly, you can sign it 50 times with using different names.
That is brilliant.
I've got to refrain from. I don't even know.
Yeah, don't go there. Don't go there. Don't go there. I can read what you're thinking.
There'll be a full legal team after me again. So.
Oh dear. Well, she's going to try that. She's going to try it 50 different times.
Well done, Beverly.
It's not the first time, because one of my kind of paranormal claim to fame is every single person in the Most Haunted crew blocked me on Twitter.
Well,
even that came with a legal letter at one point. Basically, stop fucking around.
I can tell you that Josh Momoa's love child, Josh Miota, is watching tonight. So,
hi, Josh.
Big hello to Josh. So that's a claim to fame.
I get blocked. I got a cease and desist letter from the Most Haunted crew.
Really? I'll tell you what, Ned. Next time that Tubby Stackwell's on, he'll give you a reading.
I can.
You won't like it though.
I can tell you some secrets about the Most Haunted crew, but that'd have to be off air. But some real bad stuff as well.
See the funny thing about it was, right, they were up here in Scotland and they were doing one of their most haunted experience events. And I remember it was my ex-partner at the time was a manager in a cafe or a supermarket. And she's like, oh, wait, there's loads of you, what you're up for? And she says, oh, we're doing a ghost hunt at Culzean Castle. And she says, oh, my man, he does all that. And when she mentioned my name, she says, you just saw some of them go like
Really?
that. Did you know who it was? I'm like, oh, it's fucking awesome.
It wasn't one of Wayne, because Wayne used to work with that Most Haunted Experience lot.
No, it was, no, it was like, I can't actually remember who, I think her name was Laura somebody, possibly.
Jenny?
Aye, that was one. I'm sure that
Jenny.
was one.
He will like you, Ned, but he's quite rude to everybody.
People say the same about me.
No, you're not.
I just say.
Say it how it is.
My problem I've got is I see somebody acting like a complete and utter prick, and I feel as if I've got to put the cape on and try, and that's one of my issues, and it always has been. Obviously, 3 years ago, I my name kind of rose to fame for challenging somebody that was big in the paranormal, and
I think it's a civil thing to do, though. It's a kind thing to do, isn't it? If somebody's a fucking idiot, tell them they are.
Yeah.
You seen me on here 3 weeks ago, so it's like, I want to say it wasn't my finest of moments, but at the same time, like Vad said, I did hold back a wee bit.
You did hold back, and it started well because you did agree with him to begin with.
False sense of security.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Oh, see, at the end of the day, though, right? In all seriousness, right? Going back to the beginning, it was hinted on his page that there's somebody trolling him and stuff, and that shouldn't happen. That shouldn't. People shouldn't be trolling people from fake accounts or anything like that. It should be.
I agree.
Like I said, if you've got something to say it to their face. That's my kind of view. I don't agree with the whole kind of bullying and stuff, but I do believe in karma and you reap what you sow. And I think if you act like a dick for so long, somebody is going to. Hence why 2 days ago there was somebody started a petition.
So, I think it's a lack of self-awareness with some people, isn't it? They're just not aware of, what impact they have on other people.
Yeah.
And then when you pull them on it, they double down rather than say, "Shit, didn't realise that. Sorry." They just double down on it, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh, you ever saw South Park?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. You've got Butters, who is the born victim. It's everybody else's fault.
Yeah.
Now, if I do something that is just and somebody turns around and says, "You've been a dick, you went too far," I'll put my hands up and go, you know what, if I think about it, I did. Probably have done it, but plus I've got my missus as my voice of reason, so if you kind of, if I'm been too much of that, she'll rein me in, so I'll try to.
Yeah, Ned says, agree, they'd have no idea how powerful words can
No,
be.
they don't.
They can really tear somebody down as well.
Plus, you don't know what's going on in other people's lives, do you? You could be completely horrible to them, and they could be going through so much shit at that point that adding to it's just not a nice thing to do. It's not the right thing.
No.
Something I've found with paranormal over the years, I've met hundreds of people at different events. I've met people who I became friends with. One of the girls that did kind of join my team years ago when we had kind of a few of us did suffer quite bad with anxiety and stuff like that, and she felt that going out with ghost hunting as a group with us helped her to kind of get over that kind of initial anxiety and stuff, the way life was kind of going. And I mean, she still to this day turns around and says that I kind of helped her through quite a lot. And that, see, to me, I feel better. I like hearing that kind of stuff rather than because I will help a lot of people that if I can, and
that's really nice. That's a lovely story. That's really good when you can do something like that to help someone and make their life better sort of going forward. I think that's amazing.
And that's what we're meant to do, isn't it, really?
Well, it's at the end of the day, we all come into the world the same way, we all leave the same way.
Exactly.
You should try and be as nice as you can, but obviously some people don't deserve niceness, other people do, and
Yeah, some people are in it for making money. The charlatans, basically, or they live off other people's misery, or they want to start. I find there's a lot of jealousy. They don't like what somebody's doing, so I've got to tear them down because it's only me. I think it's just ridiculous. These people need to grow up.
See, that was always one of the things that we always did. See, if we held an event, we did these kind of cross-team events where there was maybe 3 teams chipped in for a location. So they would turn around and say, right, Stephen, you book it, we'll get you all the money. Sometimes there was a couple £100 left over, and what we used to do was we used to put it in an envelope and send it to, it was York Hill Children's Hospital up in Glasgow. We used to send any extra money we had. We weren't in it for the money, we were in it for investigating, having and any money we made over and above we gave to the Children's Hospital. So that was our kind of thing that we did.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good thing.
When you go to these public events, there's far too many. I mean, they overfill them with tickets, and they just try. It's all money making, and to me, the paranormal should be something that's fun and should be.
Yeah. Well, we've done work with the team over the. I won't mention the team, but we did work. We're no longer associated with them, but we did work with the team over the years, and they're raising Detcher. We thought that they were, we thought they were good. They were decent. They probably are as people, but individuals, but. As a team, it seemed their whole raising Detcher was just to get as much money out of something as you could. So it was squeezing people on there, but it was also being funded by people that have become associated with your team as friends over the years. And it got to the point where it got so... Well, it wasn't financially viable for a few of us to stay close to them. And also, there wasn't any, not that you were looking for thanks or appreciation, but there wasn't any acknowledgement of what you'd done. So just pulled away from it at the end. That's the thing.
Eric's got something to say here.
Well, sorry, Eric.
And that's the whole point of me wanting to buy something over there in Scotland, is hopefully that I get a place that's haunted. Doesn't matter if it's a castle, a mansion, whatever. But I want to make it available for people to investigate that don't normally can get out to investigate, can't afford it. You know what I mean? Because I can make my money other ways. So.
Yeah, I think that's quite noble.
It is. And I think that you don't need to charge as much as a lot of them charge to make a decent living. It's just that greed gets hold of a lot of them and they go way over the edge for prices.
Well, Edinburgh Vaults, for example, right? Now, Edinburgh Vaults can be an expensive location to hire. Now, obviously, Nidri Vaults, they got us a £500 or £600 for a night. So what I did was a lot of these teams will charge maybe, you know what, we're going to Edinburgh Vaults, great. They see us and it's used to try and charge maybe like 80, 90, £100 for a ticket. So when I did the Vaults, I put £300 a month money up, and then I took 10 other people and just charged them £30 a head. And I actually had other teams message me saying, "You're undercutting me. You're doing this. You're doing that." And I'm like, "It's like, fuck off. I'll do what I want to do.
Do what you want to do, yeah."
And I
was really lucky to do the Vaults.
There was a few people going, "Oh, I'd love to do this. I've not got money." I'm like, "We'll just tag along." That's you try and be. I like to. I want somebody to come and enjoy themselves and have fun and walk away and say, "You know what, I enjoyed that." And that's all I want for in any event I ever run.
Exactly, Wayne.
Yeah, I kind of stopped doing the events, but I'm trying to set one up just now. There's a castle again local to me. It's on Airbnb, and I'm trying to hire that. But it's expensive, so it's going to probably be about £100 a head for. But it also includes a stay over, so you can sleep in it. So you'll get like 24 hours on it.
Wow!
So you will be able to sleep. You will be able to sleep in it, and you can have fun. You can investigate, and I'm in the middle of trying to kind of source maybe about 10 people that's interested. So
I think it's fine though. If somebody says, "Look, this place is £100 for a ticket," and you take all the factors, you think, okay, that's not a bad deal because the price they're getting charged is way up there. They're not making anything on it, or they're making a couple of quid, which is fine. You're not going to begrudge them that. What pisses me off is when you turn up at an event and you turn up you turn up at the actual place, and you know full well that place is fucking 20 quid a ticket at the best times, and they're charging you 50 and 60, and that's what pisses me off. And then they've got 50 or 40 people on it, and it's like, no, it's not happening.
Yeah. Guys, it's coming up to the hour. So
I'm not sure, Ned, to be honest.
Yeah, me either.
just Steve, stay where you are, don't go anywhere. I just want to thank everybody in the chat for coming on and supporting us this evening and giving support to Steve Daley. We hope to get Steve Daley on again pretty soon.
Yes, yeah.
So if that's all right with you, Steve, if we haven't put you off too much.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
And maybe we'll introduce you to Tony Stackwell and he might give you a reading. That would be funny.
Yes, well, I know Ned wants a reading from Tony Stackwell. And it's just as well she's in Australia, because that way she won't be able to clump me.
But next
as long as you
week,
don't expect me to keep a straight face.
well, you'll love it. Steve, you'll love it. You'll absolutely love it. You can get the
only
missus
thing
on.
about Tubby Stackwell, isn't it? The only thing that's straight about him is his face.
It's like I like seeing people that kind of take the piss.
Oh, you'll love it. You'll love it.
It's like, but I don't know. It was on TikTok, and it's like you get the wee guy. I'm sure it was. I can't remember the program it's from, but he's like, "I'm getting the word nonce."
Yeah, nonce.
It's like you just get. It's like, oh fuck.
Yeah, that's Tony.
I'm like that.
I'm 40 this year. I will never grow up. So,
guys, next week we've got Daniel Lee Barnett on the show. He's 14 years old and he is running the UK's largest cryptid conventions. An absolute innovator. He is our cryptid hunters of tomorrow, if you like.
Of course not.
Yes, he's going to be really, really interesting guy to talk to. So that is next Wednesday. Tomorrow, Lois has got To the Grave and Back. I think she's starting at 9:30 tomorrow. She's on a little bit later. But try and tune in and give her some support as well. She is back on Friday at her usual time for her Friday night Frighteners. And there is no
Thanks, Ned.
Metaphysical Insights this week. It's next weekend. So there is a show on. Try and catch one if you can on the Simply Spooky Network. If not, watch us on Catch Up. We are on YouTube. You can scroll through the Facebook page. They're all there. We don't take them down. They're all there for you to see. So you too. So yes, I'm going to leave the last words with Steve and Dan. And
I'd just like to say, Steve, thanks ever so much for coming on, mate. It's been a blast. Really appreciate it. And please come on again if we ask you if that's all right by you. Because we'd love to have you back on for a chat.
I know it's been great. And like I said, thanks for anybody that's listening.
Yeah, well, at least once a month. Steve, we want you on at least once a month.
Yeah. I'm surprised Lo hasn't got you as a bloody as one of the co-hosts.
Yeah.
Probably tried, but
I knew you would.
No, thank you very much.
One of those ones I couldn't commit to a weekly kind of I don't know. I don't mind kind of doing maybe one or two a month, but I couldn't do it every week because
yeah.
Oh yeah, shit.
Because I've got a lot of busy life now. So.
Night, Bev. Night, Wayne. Thanks again, Steve.
Bye.
Night, everyone.
Everybody. Bye.